Maybe I can show it now. Maybe. Oh my god. 1.8 mil and he died before I could like do the full combo. Yo, boys, we're back with another solo leveling Arise video. And today we're gonna be doing another showcase. And the showcase is gonna be on my favorite character in the entire game so far. And that's gonna be Hwang Dong-soo. So I did a showcase of him before, but that was when I had like less like copies into him. But now this time we're gonna be showcasing him at 5 dupes and the amount of power that he has in those palms. So let's get right into it. Of course, we're going to cover the skills, then we're going to talk about the weapon, then we're going to go into the artifacts, and then explain why I have these artifacts and why I think is the best artifacts for him. Let's get right into it. So we got the passive. The passive is when urge to kill, steel blow, or S rank influence are used after being hit, applies the impulse effect. When the maximum number of stacked impulse effect instants is reached, it applies the impulsive revenge effect. Impulse increases the user's defense by 3%, stacking up to 5 times. So has infinite duration, stacks up at least to 15% defense. Then you hit 5 stacks, it activates Impulsive Revenge, which increases your defense by 24%. And then it gives you a shield equal to 12% of the user's defense. All his damage is based off of defense, so all you have to really do is pump a bunch of defense on him, and he's going to be tanky. He's going to do a bunch of damage. He's going to have a lot of shield. He's going to have everything. When applying the effect for the first time, Greed Scavenger is enhanced, the damage is doubled, and the cooldown resets. 10 seconds duration, right? So basically, it says the for the first time, but it's not the first time. It's basically whenever your impulsive revenge activates, which is like obviously your duration is 10 seconds. Whenever it activates, it does it again, right? It's not even just the first one. I don't know why it's typed like that. So we're going to cover the dupes too, since I do have them 5 dupes. Greed Scavenger can be charged up to tier 2 and its damage increases by 100%. Greed Scavenger is his second skill. Increases the, I don't know why it's called Greed Scavenger either, because it's just called Scavenge. Second one, increases defense by 5%. That's good because this whole kit revolves around defense. Every time Greed Scavenger is used, obtains the Madness effect. Madness increases the user's defense and defense penetration by 4%, stacking up to 3 times. Duration is 6 seconds. Duration is a little bit short. Only 6 seconds is not a really long time. And with his kit, you can only realistically 90% of the time only get 8% defense and 8% defense pen. You usually never get the third stack. It's very rare. Then your fourth dupe increases the user's merciless damage by 30%. The merciless is his ult. And then you have your fifth dupe, which increases the user's merciless damage to be equal to 400% of the defense penetration stats. So basically, you do want to build some defense penetration on him because, I mean, it's going to increase your ultimate damage output. On top of that, you do have Madness, which also increases your defense pen. So you have a little bit of synergy here as well to increase your ultimate damage. Now we're going to go into his basic attacks. Basic attacks, he has really high damage modifiers for his normal attacks. His core attack is 800% damage, so it's literally almost as much damage as his... No, actually, I think it's a little bit more than his first skill. So it's really good. So your first skill, Dong-Su stomps the ground hard and detonates it, and it's based off his defense. And then you can use this skill 3 times. And I'd like to mention that this is the only skill in the entire game, the only character in the entire game that removes shields. So it may be niche and situational, but he's the only character who can do it, and he does a very good goddamn job at doing it because he has 3 stacks of it. Now you have Scavenge, which is the Greed Scavenger. I don't know why it's called Greed Scavenger, but it's Scavenge. Hwang Dong-soo charges violently and punches with his fist, and this has a damage modifier of 2,500%. His ultimate has like 4,500%, just to give you a perspective of it. That's literally almost as much as his ult. And on top of that, if you do get your Impulsive Revenge to proc, it doubles the damage of this. So it's going to be doing more than your ult because it's 500%, right? It's going to be, not 500%, 5,000% of his defense. So this is his main DPS move, to be honest. And you're going to be resetting it twice, right? Like you're going to have it once, and then you're going to reset it once you get your Impulsive Revenge, and then you're going to be able to use it again with double the damage. Super good. This is the skill that I prioritize in leveling up. Now you have your support skill. Dong-Su, Cold Blade Connection. Dong-Su charges violently, punches with his fist, and stomps on the ground hard to make it explode. It removes shield, and it stuns the target for 4 seconds, so you have a very long duration on no stun, and it removes shield the only one in the game, so he's going to be very good for bosses like Golem or anybody that, anybody realistically if you need stun. So super good support skill. Very unique compared to other characters. Steel below QTE skill, Dongsu appears with a steel frame and strikes the enemy in front of him. So yeah, this is just damage. It doesn't do anything specific or crazy. It's just his tag in is just damage. Then you have Merciless, which is his ultimate skill. Dongsu swings his fists at incredible speed and strikes the enemy. And that's really all it is, right? It does inflict the airborne effect, but it doesn't matter on bosses. This ultimate does such good damage, but it has a major flaw, and the biggest flaw is that one, you have to be really close to the enemy. Two, the enemy cannot move because basically this his ultimate doesn't have an animation like it does for the beginning of the animation, but once he starts doing it, since it's a continuous strain of attacks, the boss is still able to move while you're doing it. So overall, it's very difficult, and that's probably the biggest flaw of the character is the fact that his ultimate enemies can move out of it and dodge it and stuff like that. And you also have to be really close. So that's the biggest problem with his kit, in my opinion. But everything else is really good. Artifacts. Now I'm gonna give you two set options for your equips for your armor, and then I'm gonna give you three options for your accessories. So ranking at number 1 for the best set effect for this character is Dragon Knight's armor. This gives him basic attack damage increase, and it also increases how quickly you get your core attack. And remember, his core attack does as much damage as his normal skill. This is just going to be really good. It's going to basically make it so that even your basic attack's going to do a lot of damage along with your skills, right? Increasing your basic and your core attack, and then you have your skill damage getting increased, and they have really high modifiers, right? So this is going to be your number 1 go-to set. Your number 2 set, the crit set, obviously. The crit set is all around. It gives you a bit of everything. Crit rate and crit damage. This is going to be your damage scaling, your damage scaling, right? So, I mean, you can't really complain. This is a universally good set on like 90% of the characters in the game, the crit set. So it's good. But Dragon Knight is by far his best set if you can manage to get the crit stats. Accessories, you want Viridescent. Viridescent is going to be the best for him. The reason why it's the best is it increases damage dealt by 18%. Right? 18%. That's good. That's like okay, I wouldn't say it's no condition, but it has less of condition compared to others. Like you'll have it straight off the bat. You don't have to be below any HP. You don't have to be the boss doesn't have to be below any HP. It doesn't have anything like that. And then it also lowers the cooldown reduction. It also gives you cooldown reduction of your basic skills. So this character is a basic skill character. You want to spam his skills. So having cooldown reduction is very good for the character. You're going to be able to spam your skills more frequently. You're able to use your second skill more frequently, which is like a big portion of your damage because it's going to be doing more than your ult 90% of the time. The only drawback is it does increase the user skill MP consumption rate by 20%, which is a big amount depending on your skills. So his second skill, I believe, has a lot of MP. It uses a lot of MP, 237. So you can like add 20% on all of that. It's going to be like another 40, 50 onto it. But this one, it's not. This one's not too bad, right? 20% to 35 isn't too bad. So you don't really feel the effects on this one. But for this one, you definitely do, considering you do use it twice, right? But you still want to use this set because I mean that most of his damage is derived off of his skills. Now your secondary option for your sets is probably going to be Skeleton. The reason why I say Skeleton is he does provide himself with shield, he does give himself defense, he has a bunch of that in his kit to give him survivability, right? This keeps him alive, and he doesn't have any self-healing abilities, so you're able to get below the threshold for Skeleton and then have that 30% damage increase. And then you could also have, your defense keeping you alive because you're gonna have a lot of defense since that's how much you're stacking. You're gonna have shield, you're gonna have all that, right? So yeah, that's gonna be his best option. And then your third option will be Behemoth, of course. I would place it as second, but I feel like it's easy to maintain the skeleton effect on him because of how much defense he has. So I personally rank the skeleton effect set better on him than the Behemoth. That's going to be the three accessory sets that you can use, with Viridescent being first, second being Skeleton, third being Behemoth. And then there's not really any other set effects that help him that much. So now we're just going to go through the stat spread, right? You're going to go through stat spread and then what you're going to be looking for on the character and then what order of ranking I personally recommend on you trying to focus on first. So defense, my defense is pretty high. I'm at like 11,789, so it's really high. But of course, do keep in mind I'm really high leveled. And then crit hit rate, I'm at 46%, crit hit damage at 136%, and then defense pen at 10%, damage increase at 15%, and then the rest don't really matter too much, right? Now, when trying to get stats for this character, your main stat focus is going to be your defense. That's going to be your main priority, is getting defense, right? Once you get a certain amount of defense, like at least to 10k defense, like overall, once you get to 10k, it's okay. You could start like you don't even need to get to 10k defense because of course I'm at higher levels. Just try to get a good spread of defense, right? You'll kind of have to be the judge of that. I can't really give you a good defined definition because it also is dependent on your player level. But get defense. That's going to be your very first focus that you're looking for on your equips. Then crit hit rate. You want to have at least 40% crit hit rate. And then you're going to be going for crit hit damage on your boots, right? You're going to be going for crit hit damage on your boots, and then try to stack up as much crit hit rate and defense as possible to get to 40% crit hit rate, and then get as much defense as you can. And then crit hit damage, if you can get that on the side, that's a good bonus for you. Now, if you have dupes in Hwang Dong-su, you don't need crit hit damage boots. Of course, they're nice, but you can also go defense penetration boots, right? Because remember, when you get 5 dupes, he's going to do damage based off of his defense penetration, right? His ult's going to do damage based off of his defense penetration. So, overall, you're going to want to have defense penetration boots, right? So, crit hit damage boots if you don't have 5 dupes, and if you do have 5 dupes, get defense penetration boots. Simple as that. Damage increase, you don't necessarily, like, I don't expect everybody to get as much high defense, damage increase as much as I do, but try to aim for like at least a little bit, like at least 8%, 8% to 10% at least, right? If you could get more, good. If not, it is what it is, right? And that's basically going to be your stat spreads, right? These are like kind of defining ratios where I saw like a little bit of increase on his damage, and that's kind of how I got a good spread of damage out of him. Right. So that's basically what you're going to be looking for. And then I'm going to show you, of course, my equipments. Now, not everybody's going to have equipments like me. I know that. I've had these equipments for a long time. I had these equipments even when I had them like less duped out. Like I think no dupes. I had these equipments, so I had him already built. So I seen what he can do, and he's really good at no dupes, and he's really good at like full dupes. Like even more insane at full dupes. And then another thing I do like to know, I do have some pieces that do have some failed stats, and I am using crit hit damage boots. And the only reason I am using crit hit damage boots rather than defense penetration boots is simply due to the fact that I have a bunch of defense penetration on my pieces, So to even out the spread, If you have a fair amount of defense penetration on your pieces, then you're completely fine going crit hit damage boots, right? But in most cases, if you're a 5 dupe and you don't have any defense penetration on your thing, or if you have a good spread of crit hit rate and crit hit damage and you want more defense penetration to increase your ultimate output, then go defense penetration boots. So yeah, that's going to be basically the character. I believe I talked about the weapon. No, if I didn't, well, I'll just talk about it right now. It's wind damage, increase 12%, and then you gain 3% basic skill damage every time Impulsive Revenge or Madness effect activates, which is super easy to activate, stacking up to 15 times. And remember, this is max, so you'll get 45% skill damage increase and 12% wind damage increase. And then, of course, it's defense as its stat. Right? So we talked about him long enough. We're finally going to showcase the character and see what he can do, right? So as usual, you already know what we're doing. The same place as usual that we do for all characters when we showcase them. The bear boss, because he's not very crazy or unique or anything. He's very simple. So we're going to do this. We're going to just do Hwang Dong-su first by himself. Showcase him by himself, and then we'll showcase him in a team scenario, right? So you can kind of get a gauge of how much damage he's doing individually, and then kind of how much damage he can do on a team. The Giga Chat. Look at him. Holy. Alright, boss is coming at me. He wants a piece of me. I'm about to show him what's up. Alright. So I'm gonna show you the combo string of how you want to play him. So you're gonna use your second skill, and then you're gonna use your first skill 3 times. Then you're gonna normal attack to activate your core attack, right? In most cases, if you do it right, you're able to get your impulsive revenge by just doing the combo and then being able to go straight into your ult. So what I recommend is when you're doing your combo string, just face the enemy and don't stop attacking the enemy. Like go ham on the enemy. Alright? So you're gonna go like this. Boom. And then most of the time you'll be able to get your 5 impulsive revenge. And then you'll reset your second skill and then you can do it again. Right? So as you can see, I'm doing good damage, right? Like, look at this. 30k, 30k, 15k, 16k. Doing good damage, right? I'm gonna just beat him up a little bit because then at 40 he kind of gets kind of does like an enrage, which is kind of annoying. The enrage kind of like ruins the showcasing of it a little bit because I don't want him to cancel my ult, like be immune to my ult. So we'll just lower him down a little bit. Damage is good so far, so a little bit of numbers, but I mean, do keep in mind he is fighting by himself, right? So now he's berserk, right? We're gonna let him do his attack. We're gonna use our second skill, go our first skill, got impulsive revenge, and then we do our other attack, and then we go into our ult straight away. 672,000 damage. That's pretty good, right? I wouldn't say it's bad, especially for being solo, like on the team. And then, of course, if you do keep in mind as well, like you're also getting like shield and stuff. Like look at how big that shield is. It's absolutely massive. You eat attacks like it's nothing, and it gives you super armor as well, so you don't get like knocked back or anything. Your second skill does a ton of damage. It's like it's super good character. I think super underrated. Anyways, we're gonna exit real quick, and then we're gonna do him in a team scenario, so that way we can showcase how much damage he could do when he is actually on the team. Because of course, I mean, 90%, 95% of the times you're fighting anything is going to be in the team, right? All right, 95 is a little bit of small. 99%, right? Like there's like almost no content that you do stuff by yourself, but we'll show him in the team. So teams I recommend for him: one character that has damage taken, and the character that applies defense down, right? And then of course him. Now, I'd like to use Choi because Choi is quick and like he applies his defense down very quickly. But if you need someone who breaks and applies defense down, then of course your man to go to is Bake, because Hwang does not apply any doesn't do any break. So, I mean, you can't. If you need a break, you use Bake. If you don't need a break, you use Choi. So we're going to be using Igris. Now, of course, I could be using Tank because Tank increases your defense, so then you could get higher damage output on your Hwang. But we're just going to do crit because I know most people are already invested in Igris and not everybody has Tank because, I mean, he's defense. For the ones that do have him, I mean, nice. But, like, it's just everybody will have him at the start, so it's just easier to showcase him, right? With Igris. Showcase Hwang with Igris. Now we're going to do them in the team scenario, and hopefully I can do this correctly. It's going to probably take me like a couple rotations because it's hard to build power gauge. It's very hard to build power gauge. That's my only problem. And I'm thinking about using a power gauge set on my min to give my team faster power gauge. I feel like it's the best way to play him. Like his healing isn't even that important, right? Right. Gonna go into him. Boom. Look at that damage. Right? Look at that damage. I just did like 1 million because it did two 500,000s. He's already at the threshold. We're just gonna attack him a little bit. Gonna attack him a little bit. Just beat him up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because the biggest problem right now is I do not want to kill him before actually using my ult. I don't want to kill him before using my ult. And I want to have my power gods right so I can do my whole combo. Right? Okay, now I can do it. I can do it now. Here it comes, guys. It's time to get to work. Do this. You do this. Hopefully he doesn't move too much when I'm doing my ult. Like I said before, that is the biggest problem with the fucking character. Okay, I didn't use my second skill because I was afraid that I might kill him. I didn't even get a good read on his on the ult, so we'll just do it again one more time. Yeah, I really hate like the positioning of the games, like camera angles and stuff. Sometimes it's like very difficult to see the numbers if you want to actually show. But we'll do it again. It's fine. No worries. A little bit of trial and error, you know. At least it gives you an idea of his damage. Like you see those big numbers. Like look at that, like literally 1 million with this. 1 million with his second skill. Right, like that's like look at that, 318k. Right, that's without impulsive revenge. But the moment impulsive revenge activates, you do like a ton of damage. And then like even look at the string of my normal attacks. Look at how much damage he's doing. And this is like without me like putting in Min's damage taken down and all that stuff. I could probably be hitting like 100k, you know? Like on these normal attacks. Right? Let's see if I can get a good look on though. No, okay. Let's see. Hopefully he doesn't move too much. Oh my god. Okay, okay. Okay, guys. We're gonna have to redo this again. Hold up. We'll just wait until the shadows disappear. Because he hit me kind of when I was doing stuff and it kind of ruined everything. A bit scuffed, but hey. It wouldn't be a video without a little bit of mess. Right? And we do our ult. We're going to Choi. And then we're going to Hwang. I think I'm already in my impulsive revenge. I am. Oh my god, he moved once again. But yeah, like I said, that's the biggest problem with the character is the fact that his ult doesn't really stop the boss. And I feel like it should, because I don't really think it's fair compared to like all the other characters in the game. They all stop the boss. But he doesn't. It just doesn't make sense to me. Hopefully he stays still for a moment. Maybe I can show it now. Maybe. Oh my god. 1.8 mil and he died before I could like do the full combo. That's crazy. 1.8 mil on his ultimate without the full combo even going through. Oh boy. Yep, this character, bro. This character. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. That damage is kind of insane. Like I don't think I've seen any other character in the game do that much damage on their ultimate. Now maybe a Sale with like 4 stacks like of her crit hit damage up and fully well built out and of course 5 dudes. Maybe she can hit that, but I don't think I've seen any other character hit that high. Because even then, that was 1.8 mil, and that was without the full combo. I didn't even get like the final attack of his punch. That was like a few punches even before he did the final punch. So I really wonder how much damage he really would have did to the boss. But yeah, overall, my favorite character in the game to play. I mean, aside from Silvermane Bake, he he's really good. I really love this character. I think he's really good, and especially when you're doing like story, and then and then the story says don't get hit a certain amount of times, he's really good for that because you could easily get your shield with ease. And like if they manage to hit you 5 times, like let's say you're not able to do something and you keep getting hit. If it even like damage, like environmental damage over time effects, those also proc your impulse revenge, right? Even if you're getting hit by those, your impulse revenge will activate, and then you'll get your shield anyways, right? So it's like it's super good because you're gonna get always get your shield no matter what. So like it kind of gives you like placeholders or like milestone locks on the enemies. Like when you're doing like story, if you get hit 5 times, boom, you're gonna get a shield. So now you don't have to worry about getting hit, right? It's just really good to have. I really love it. It makes me doing all my 3-star quests so easy and simple. I really love this character. I think he's super underrated. But yeah, that's about it. That's the worst character in the game. Appreciate you guys for watching. Stay blessed and peace.